Hi, hello, and welcome back. Today we are once again buying horses. I feel like I'm always buying horses, but horse shopping is a very good excuse for recording video, or more like recording a video is a very good excuse to buy horses. And we are buying, which you can probably tell from the title or the thumbnail or both, the horses that are retiring, which would be the Gen 2 Hanoverian and the Gen 2 Welsh pony. So there are going to be a lot of horses today, because I only own one of these. Sorry, something got stuck in my throat. But yeah, so I only have this black Hanoverian. I don't know. I don't own any of the other like colors. So I think this is one that like you haven't been able to buy for many years, but it's here now. It is kind of similar to this one, but it's not identical. So this is a chestnut, and this is a liver chestnut, I think. And then there's also a darker bay one in the app, which I have raised. And I don't know, maybe I should start buying that. That won't be very fun video content, but we could talk a little bit. What's there to talk about? It's April right now. It's almost... Wait. I must check something. It sounded like something in my iPad case broke. The magnets are coming loose. Oh no. How do I fix that? Okay, I can't fix that now. I'm recording a video. So let's open the Star Stable Horses app. But yeah, it's April. It's almost Easter. I'm recording this. And I mean, life feels good today. I woke up very late, and I pretty much only played video games and eaten food today, which was not what I was supposed to do, but it is what I'm doing, and I'm counting recording this video as being productive. No one I don't know. There's no one to keep me accountable anymore. I'm an adult. But yeah, let's buy. I have one Gen 2 Hanoverian in level 10 in the app. He's called Glitterton. Let's move him into the game. And I need my email address. Actually, I need to disconnect from the iPad keyboard because I can't do the @ symbol on my physical keyboard for some reason. It was a very cheap keyboard / case. It's a third-party one because have you seen the prices of official Apple products? The iPad was barely worth it. I'm not going to pay for the accessories. Okay, time to finish email.com and then my password, which I do remember, hopefully, considering I just logged on my PC. Come on, okay, yeah. It's gonna cost me 300 star coins. And yeah, let's buy him. I think Glitterton is gonna be a gelding. Obviously it doesn't have gender yet because you can't set that in the app, but yeah, and there we could see the star coins go down. I now have Glitterton in my stable here in game. And let's continue with the Hanoverians. I think these third one's gonna be hardest because I don't have names picked for these. You're gonna be... I think you're gonna be a stallion, you're gonna be an adult. Scarlet is pretty good. Scarlet Mystery. I feel like I've heard that before. Right, I think that's what Esmeralda Silverforce, aka Gaming by Esme, calls one of her English thoroughbreds. That's it's Scarlet Mystery for Sherlock, for A Study in Scarlet, which is the first Sherlock Holmes book. I have read that. I read that this fall for a class. Should this be a Sherlock? I mean, I would put him as a as a stallion. an adult. I don't know if this feels like a Sherlock, but you know what? This is Sherlock. I'm unapologetically stealing that name from Esme. Okay, to disable, we have more horses to buy today. I already own this one. This is Leona. Maybe I should have ridden Leona. I mean, I rode her in my when I bought the video where I bought my Gen 3 Hanoverian, and yeah, I didn't have the time to get her out of the stable. I have been procrastinating making this video for like a week because it's gonna be expensive. Because I'm buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I bought the one from the app 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm buying 13 horses in this video. I don't think I'm ever gonna buy this many horses again in one sitting. Actually, that's a lie. If they retire the Jorvik pony at the same time they retire another horse, I probably will. Because there are a lot of Jorvik ponies in the Gen 1 model. Okay, I think this is technically a flea bitten, so I mean I need you anyway. I want all the flea bitten. You're gonna be a mare, and you're gonna be older because you've grayed out already. And darkness, I don't think that's the best one. Dauntless Dauntlessy. Nah. Kashil? I mean, I wish we could like have this list pop up where the randomized word is. Because now I just want to see. Katil? It could be Katil. That kind of sounds like a name. Katil. Yeah, this can be Katil. I should have put my game in English as well. I forgot again. And you're also going to the stable. I doubt these videos are very interesting. I'm just here like, and we're buying another horse, and we're buying another horse. I really like this babe one. If you watch my buying the Gen 3 Hanoverian, you know I named him a Romance after a horse we had, or my mom had when I was little. And this horse also really reminded me of Romance. So I used to eye this one and should like, oh, maybe I'll name this horse after Romance. But now I have a Gen 3 Romance, which is even better. But we're still gonna buy this one, just won't be Romance. I think he will be young. I'm gonna do him as a gelding, even though I'm pretty sure Romance was a stallion. And this is even gonna be Romance, but Pixie Dessert, Chaos Ocean, Sorcerer's Guest, Summer Club, Pumpkin. Like, I guess this is supposed to be like Ika to add to things, but I only see Ika, which is a chain, like a chain of supermarkets, I think they would be classified as. Like a grocery store, supermarkets, that type of thing. And that's a chain in Sweden. It's called Ika, and it's spelled just like this. So I'm like, the grocery store? But it's even funny because like the game is made in Sweden. They must know that sounds like the supermarket. A night. That's a good name, but I don't want that on this horse. Phoenix away. Amberios. I mean, that could work. Amberios. Let's go with Amberios. I remember when we got the OG Gen 2 Hanoverians. It was I actually bought one the day they released, I think. And I think that's one of the few times I bought a horse on the release day. Like, obviously it's gotten more times over the years, but that was like one of the earliest times. I usually waited a long time, and I usually would never buy a horse on the release day. but I think I did buy Leona on the Hanoverian release day. And they were up at the manor. And then there was, I think the Hanoverian was the breed for the very first Horses of Jorvik competition. Because back then it was only one breed per Horses of Jorvik. And the first one was Hanoverian. And the second one was Morgan, which was a pole bending race in the dressage area of the riding hall. And I never did that race because I didn't own a Morgan. And I wasn't gonna go out to start buying horses every time there was a new race just because I didn't own that breed. So I never did that one. And I don't think that race have ever had like a rerun. I think the show jumping course that the Hanoverians had did have a rerun later on, but for like another breed. I think that was also like the first time we saw like obstacles with a water mat. It was like a huge thing. Everyone was like obsessed with it, and it was like would it have been like 2017 maybe? I don't know. I just remember it so vividly. People on like Instagram and YouTube being like, I wish we could have more obstacle like this every day in the game. And now we have more obstacles like that. It's like we were dreaming about it. Do we have any paddock props with a water mat? I can't think of it on top of my head. Maybe that's something we'll need. Okay, this one. I think this one is gonna be a mare. An adult mare. This one reminds me of like a, I don't know if it was Slice. It might have been Slice, but like an older Slice I had as a kid. It was like this color. And it was my favorite horse toy when I was little. It reminds me of that. Crucible. No, that doesn't sound right. Disco Tango. That's quite a fun name. But like, this horse always felt very dressage to me. My toy horse. The Hanoverian used to be like one of the fancier breeds in the game. It was like, it remained a favorite even after we started getting like Gen 3 horses. Like this and the Trackner, which obviously the Trackner is Gen 3, but those were like the fancy warm blood horses of Star Stable back in the day. Disco Tango, Life Eclipse, Glitter. This is not Nugget, it's Nougat. Like it's supposed to pronounce nougat, and it's like a chocolate-ish thing, but it's like nut-based, mixed over like hazelnuts, I think. Radiant Fall. I can go with that. Radiant Fall is a good name. Where's my music on? Where's my music? I mean, it's there, they're just not playing any music. Okay. So we have every other Hanoverian now. Yes, we do. It's just this grey one left. You're gonna be younger. I'm gonna make a stallion. I want something with lemon. I don't know why. I'm feeling lemon. Lemon crown. I don't know. Nixie. Lemon star. Escape. Girl. I don't even know what a teak is. Lemon circus. Lemon party. Maybe. Lemon land. Lemon place. You know what? She can be lemon. Oh, he can be lemon. Actually, it's gonna be a mare. Lemon feels like a mare. She can be lemon. It was actually very funny when we went to look like last week, because I'm recording this on Wednesday, the second week of the Equestrian Festival. And last week, Bella and I was playing, like checking out the festival, and then I saw on Instagram people like, oh, there's like an additional Hanoverian coat that like hasn't been available for many years. And I could just hear Bella like going quiet because she's been like, oh yeah, I for such a long time she's been like, I hope the next horse they retire is the Hanoverian, because she owned all the Hanoverians already. But she did not own this one. She thought she did, but they bamboozled her. So she had to buy one anyway. And then we have the Welsh pony. I never bought a Welsh pony. It used to be, if you started playing Stable recently, you won't remember this, but the ponies used to be, I said they used to be shorter, they're still shorter. They used to be slower than big horses, which I think had something to do with like animation length and like, I'm gonna assume it had something to do with like animation length, because like if you ride one of these small horses, now like a lot of animations are gonna be very fast, and I think it's because like their legs could only extend so far, and then if you want them to go as fast as the other horses, the animation will have to play faster. This is my theory, by the way, from looking at it. So I think that's why the horses were slower back in the day, or ponies, but ponies aren't slower anymore. But back then, the Welsh pony, when we got that, it was, we didn't have, like the only ponies we had then was ponies of this model. We had the Chicotige as well, which were 3 colors in the exact same model. They were retired. Oh, when were they? They must have been retired in either 2023 or 2022. I think 2022. But don't quote me on that. So yeah, those were the only ponies we had at the time. And then we got the Welsh pony. And the Welsh pony, while still slower than big horses, were faster than the Gen 1 ponies. So if you wanted to win the pony champ, you need a Welsh pony. And I never got one, because I didn't do championships. Back then you only got 25 shillings if you didn't place. Like if you didn't get a ribbon, you only got 25 shillings, which only covered the, the trailer right there. So I didn't bother doing championships. Like it wasn't worth it to me. And you didn't get XP either. So yeah, but I do have some names picked out for some of these. I remember when the South Hoof opened and we got the Welsh ponies for the first time. We saw like the flock that's running around on South Hoof, and a friend and I, not Bella, another friend, because this was before Bella even played Star Stable. Oh my god. It was so long ago. This must have been like spring 2016, I think. Yeah, spring 2016. The South Hoof had been released and a friend was running around, and we were naming all the ponies in the flock, and there were 2 of most coat colors. And yeah, I had them on a piece of paper, and I had the piece of paper for so many years, but I don't know where it is anymore. And if I still have it, which I doubt, it is definitely at my parents' place. But I doubt it, because I don't like. I got rid of like the desk I had when these released, where I would have kept the note. I got rid of that desk in high school, and got a new one. So I don't think I have the note anymore. But I do remember what this horse was going to be called. He's going to be a stallion, I think. No, he's going to be gelding, I think. And his name is going to be Air Star, after the server, which I'm not actually currently on. Sorry, my voice gave out, so I had to go get some water, but back to the point. He's named after a server, which I'm actually not currently on, because it's really hard to finish the championship ranks on Airstar, so I'm currently on Ice Cream Jungle, but only until I finish the championship ranks, then I'm going back to Airstar. And I actually hadn't ever been on Airstar when I named this horse Airstar in my head. And neither had my friend. We were playing on Marshmallow Clouds, and we didn't move to Airstar until June that year. And then I was on Airstar from then until September of 24, I think. Like, I never changed server once. But yeah, all the... there were only 3 Swedish servers back then. Now we have... Is it 6 or 7? I can't remember. But we only had Airstar, Marshmallow Clouds, and Fluffy Unicorn. And Airstar is the... Well, it is server 2. It is the one that's been open the longest. Like, the first server that was ever accessible to players. So, and... sorry, my voice. My voice really isn't on my side right now, but what I was getting at was that, like, all the big, like, Swedish, like, YouTubers and people on Instagram with Star accounts, they were usually on Airstar at this time, because that was the oldest server there, where the older players were, and where the people who had been playing from the start were, the people who had the time to build a platform. Now you can find people who do, you know, YouTube and Instagram from most servers. Airstar is still, I think, the most common one, because we... Belle and I like to joke. Like to joke that it's like a cult that we are we're members of, that, like, you have to be on Airstar. There's no reasoning behind it, you just have to be on Airstar. That's the server you have to be on. And it's quite overpopulated. But most other servers are so underpopulated, so unless it's like the championship ranks, you're not gonna see a lot of people. So, like, I think after the last championship ranks, I stayed a little longer on Avocado Island than I had been planning. And, like, the moment the ranks were done, it was, like, dead. There were no people. And then you go to Airstar, you could log on in the middle of the night, and there would be, like, more people than, like in the afternoon on Avocado. At, like, 1 a.m. That felt crazy. But this is gonna be Airstar, and he's gonna be a gelding. And that was a very long little rant. I'm gonna have to try. Maybe, I didn't take pictures back then. But, I have a tendency when I start talking to not do things in game, and I realize when I edit that's really boring. Yeah. The only other horse whose name I could remember is this, which was Titan. But I have Titan in Gen 3, so this is not going to be Titan anymore. I think maybe this is going to be something with vanilla, so you can be a mare, and you can have something with vanilla. What about vanilla light? Let's go with that. That'll be great. Like, where did my music go? Am I gonna try to edit in music, perhaps? I don't know if that's gonna be a good idea. Should we name you Night Dust after the Night Dust in the quest? Night Dust. You can be Night Dust. I feel like that's... We named the Dellinger horse after Dellinger. We can name the Night Dust horse after Night Dust. This is pre-magic Night Dust. I remember that questline being so popular. Like, it took so long time to finish, but people were always like, oh, when we're gonna get to finish the Night Star quest, or no, the Night Dust quest. It was like, we were more interested in, like the night dust thing, then I think we were like, people were still asking about like saving Herman from Epona, like from the GD and continue with the GD stuff. But for a time, people were more like, when do we get to finish the Night Dust quest? Like way more than they were interested in how do you say, like then they were interested in the GD quest. It was this main story quest and Night Dust, and that was all we cared about back in the day. Snow Justice. Snowland could work. Yeah. Snowland. You're Snowland. We're just having a trip down memory lane. I've been thinking about doing a training chit chat talking about nostalgia. But I can never like come up with things on the spot about nostalgia. So I've been like trying to get Bella, but we always forget when we call, to like sit down and try and think about nostalgia, and I can take notes and then I can do a training chit chat on that. But we always forget when we're in a call. So I needed some more water because my voice is really not on my side. So we bought the first 4. We have the last 3. I mean, you can be something with fire. I'm thinking you might be young. You can be a stallion too. You can be something like fire. Fire kick. Fire kick could work. Let's go with that. I don't always put super, as you can tell, I don't always put super much, a lot of attention to name on the older horses. I still love them a lot, but also there is a charm to not have like the super, like have those double name, obviously not on everyone, but have those double names that we had to use back in the day because there were no other options. Like this coat is so nostalgic because I remember so many other like gray horses. They're like not gray like this, gray like that. Back in the day that had like this shading and that type of mane, and do we have blue eyes even? Yes, that's a thing we still have problems with, where they make light horses with blue eyes. But you know what? I can't change it. I think you're gonna be an adult even if you're like, you've started to gray out, but you're not like white yet. You can be a gelding. I don't know what to call you though. Maybe something with shadow. Shadow Whisper does work. You know what? You're a Shadow Whisper. Oh, you're so cute. And then we only have this one left, which wasn't one of the original releases. Instead we had, I remember seeing Star Stable News. Anyone else remember Star Stable News? No, it wasn't even Star Stable News, it was the Star Stable show, the one with Matilda, not the one with Game Master Ylva. Like, eventually it was Matilda and Game Master Ylva, and it was more things than just the news eventually, and then they stopped doing the news entirely and only did like game show things, and then I kind of stopped watching it because I wasn't interested in the game show things. And they moved it to Facebook. I don't use Facebook, I never have, and I don't think I ever will. So yeah. But I remember when they announced, or maybe it was Star Stable News. I can't remember, but I used to love it. I sat down like every Wednesday in school with my school laptop, and I was like, oh, they've released the Star Stable show. They released Star Stable News. I have to see what's going on, or like what's the news. And I remember they announced that we had gotten, I think, was it 3 new bay horses? There was the bay. Was it the Bay Lusitano? Was one? No, Lipizzan. It was the Bay Lipizzan, the Bay Welsh pony. I think it was a third. can't remember. Was it perhaps the Bayshire? I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna look at it. Maybe it was this one. Because this one was in New Hillcrest. I can't remember. It was not an Icelandic. I don't think it was. No. All of these except these two are original coat colors. And all of these are also original, so it might have been the Shire. I can't remember, but I think it was 3 bay horses. Oh, and also we never talked about this. The Welsh pony used to be one of those breeds you had to do reputation quests to unlock. This was very short, but it was more like the horses weren't released yet to be bought when the South Hoof opened. And when you'd done the quest, the hermit would have the reputation quest logo above his head. And yeah, when you'd be younger, yeah, you can be a gelding too. And I remember I read what the quest was about. It's like, oh, you want to adopt a Welsh pony? Well, I don't really trust you yet. And I remember writing to the friend who I named these horses with on Skype. That was the day. Those were the days when you used Skype. I can still remember the ringtone when like you were trying to call someone. But I wrote her on Skype and it's like, have you read like the hermit? He says like if you build your reputation with him, he'll let you buy a Welsh pony. And my friend at the time, she never did reputation quests. She was like, yeah, no, that's boring. Like, there's no point to it. Like, I don't care if I can't do everything because, like, there's no point to it. If I can't do it right now, it isn't worth it. Was her opinion then. When we were also keeping in mind, we were 13 back then, and I might have had free range of my PC to do as I wished with. She did not. Her parents enforced, how long she could use the computer for every day, and she wasn't allowed to play games every day either. While I could do that, and I was sometimes playing like video games and watching TV shows like in the middle of the night, which I don't think my parents were aware of, but it wasn't the best. The computer is not good for your eyes at night, but I had not been having a proper sleep schedule since I was like 6 years old, so like it didn't give me less hours of sleep. I just changed what I was doing instead of sleeping. Instead of reading all night, I was playing video games and watching YouTube. Or TV shows. I kind of want something with dark, because that was something we could name them back in the day. Dark Bug, I don't like that, but I don't think we could name them Ring back in the day, but Dark Ring, I kind of like that. No? But yeah, so there was this little reputation quest, and like if you just done the races for the whole week, like you would have like, I don't even think you need them the entire week. From that when the quest finished to when the Welsh pony released, you had enough to like unlock the Welsh pony and buy them. But that was like the first time I saw her actually do reputation quests. Which she must have done that with the fjords too, with the cultures, so you could buy the Yen 1 fjords, because she had a fjord when I started playing. She's, by the way, the person who got me to play this game. Wouldn't be here without her. But that was before I started playing. So, yeah. It's been so long. It's been 9 years. It's gonna be 10 years in December. I'm turning 23 this year. I was 13 when I started playing. The years just go by and go by and go by. But we're buying Dark Ring. And he's the final one. And then we can have a look at them in the stable, I think. To finish this up. It's been a fun trip down memory lane today, I think. Yeah, let's go. I don't think I've cleaned up my stable. I think there are gonna be a couple of horses in the middle of the stable, like my pony. One of my ponies is standing like ready in full gear to be ready for the pony championship when... Okay, it's gonna be a champ soon. I don't know how long I've been recording for, but we'll see. Now I got a moment of panic, like, did I start recording? I hope I did. Otherwise, I didn't record. I just been talking to myself for, I guess, like 30 minutes. Maybe we can start with levels so we get the horses we need. Oh, I have so many. That's Glitterton. There he is. I mean, Bejeweled, let's throw out. I don't feel inspired to photograph any of those horses, so let's throw them out for the time being. You know, let's get one of each model. Which... Let's get Fire Kick, and then we could get... I wish you could just have a button to go all the way back. Instead of like having to press. Like you have this for one and then one for all the way. Should be here somewhere. Yes, there. Titan. Oh. Then we can compare them. Oh, I won't have to do, because you're level 10 already. I think we're just gonna look at you in here. I can't be bothered. Is that a good thing to say when you're trying to do YouTube? But probably not, but... I mean, I still think the Gen 2 Hanoverian is a really nice horse. Like, I don't think it's that big of a difference between the Hanoverian and like... Like, of course there's a difference, but if we take Seika over here, which is one of my Conemaras, which was the first Gen 3 horse, if you didn't know. This is the first Gen 3 horse from 2017, end of 2017. It's like, is there a noticeable difference? Yes. Is it huge? No. Like, it's more noticeable now next to them, but like, I don't think the Gen 2 Hanoverian is that outdated. Like, let's continue this. I think there's a bigger difference here between... Ah, come on. Like, I feel like there's a greater difference between Titan here and Seika than there is between Glitterton and Seika. But I don't know. Like, maybe I imagine it, but I think like maybe Seika is more like right in the middle, but I don't think the Hanoverian is that outdated. Like, is it outdated compared to like... You know what? Let's get Rosemane. He's in the stable, he's over here. Let's go get him and we can look at the Gen 2, Gen 3 comparison. I know how to ride, I promise. I mean, there's a huge difference obviously between Glitterton and Romance, but it's like he's a lot taller. Like, they felt taller than a lot of other horses, but like with the concrete proof here, like, yeah, there's such a huge difference between these two, obviously, but like between Glitterton and Seika, I don't think it's that great. I think there's just obviously like between the individual breeds. Like, let's look more closely at Fire Kick and Titan. Like, Fire Kick is a lot bigger than Titan is. But I think maybe like Fire Kick is taller as well. But I think Titan, like the Gen 3 Welsh, is supposed to be type B. I'm gonna move what is your name again? Phoebe. was about to call you Water Lily, which I wanted to name Magic Lily Water Lily, but you couldn't do that. But like, yeah, so this is type B, and I think the N2 is like closer to type C. So like that's obviously a huge difference, but like so many of the N2 horses have like front-facing eyes. Like this one doesn't have it that bad, but like how do you have it? You have very front-facing eyes, I think. Glitterton. And the wait, it's the level we want. Page 1. If we look at like Ancient Matter here, who's Ian to Lipison, like they have super front-facing eyes. This is like Skyrim horse. I haven't seen any horses in Skyrim, but because I haven't played it that far. I've played like 5 minutes. But I've seen like picture, I think, of what I think is a horse from Skyrim, and they have front-facing eyes. Front-facing eyes, like a human has, is a sign of a predator. The Skyrim horses and the Starcillian Tulipisons are predators. Confirmed. No, it's not confirmed. But it's a little bit funny. Like, obviously horses have a little bit, but like, you can see what like Rose mean. Like, his eyes are very much on the side. And then like, you can see him little from the front. And then like, sure, Glitterton's eyes are also from the side, but they're almost more from the front than the side. And Seika almost also have it like that, I think. I mean, if I could control my character, this would be a lot easier. Like, yeah, I think Seika also has very front-facing eyes. So they got really better with that with the Gen 3. Obviously they have a little bit of front, like they can see in the front, but horses have better seeing to the sides than they have towards the front. I mean, the Star horse also has a little bit of front-facing, but like not Gen 2 Lipison style. This is also pretty old Gen 3. Let's look at my trusted steed, my beloved soul horse. If I could only pick one horse to keep, it would be this. Like, he has pretty front-facing eyes too. Yeah. It used to be the Jorvik Warmblood, the Hanoverian, and the Trackener that were the 3 stars of Warmbloods in this game. And I've made a worse mess than I had to begin with. But yeah, we made more of a comparison today. That was fun to record. Thank you. Let's get back to the Magic Lily, and then we can do this. And it's all back to how it's supposed to be. But yeah, thank you for watching, for joining me down this trip of memory lane and also horse shopping. Obviously, I don't think I've ever bought this many horses in my life. Don't know if I'm ever going to buy this many at a time again. I'm gonna buy 4 horses next week when the festival horses arrive. And I'm not shopping at the bazaar this week because there's 4 horses next week that I need. Because they're gonna be time limited, I'm assuming. So, thank you so much for joining me, for watching the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you like the video. And you know what? Let me know your thoughts on what we discussed about the likeness between late Gen 2, early Gen 3, and like more today Gen 3, because I'm interested to hear if you agree with me that the Hanoverian isn't that outdated, or maybe I'm just, you know, wearing my rose tinted glasses. Like, I could have sworn these were my normal glasses, but maybe they're rose tinted. Maybe I can't tell. So, you know, let me know about that, because I'm really interested to hear other people's opinions. And I guess I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.